Boyce Watkins, and I want to welcome everybody. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. Today, we're going to talk about Kanye West and that really strange T-shirt he was wearing that said "White Lives Matter." For some reason, Kanye West has decided to make shirts with the slogan "White Lives Matter" on these shirts, and I'm going to explain to you what I think is going on and how capitalism can make us a little bit weird and a little bit crazy at times. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to welcome everybody. If you could hit the thumbs up button on your way in. Also, please shout out the city you're from. Let me know what city you're coming from. I know you guys come from all over the world. And also, if you ever wanted to hear this podcast via audio, we are on Spotify. So look up the Dr. Boyce Breakdown on Spotify. You can find us right there. I see Shondell from Akola, Robert Taylor, how you doing? Larry C, Jermaine Gordon from North Carolina. Joyce Harris says it's attention. You are giving a precursor to exactly what I'm thinking here. Tara Redmond from West Palm Beach, Linda Bell out of Detroit. I see Seattle, Philly, Little Rock, Florida, Houston, Philly. All my favorite cities, New Jersey, Nashville. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. We're trying to build Black media here, and we really need your help because y'all know just from the topic that we're about to hit today that we need some people out here to get some goddamn sense. I mean, seriously, excuse my French. I didn't mean to start the day off cussing, but today it might be a cussing day. 1 minute we might be cussing because we're happy that the stock market did so well. A lot of y'all made money in the stock market. And also we're cussing because Kanye West, for whatever reason, has decided to wear T-shirts that say White Lives Matter, which I don't really understand. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. I don't know what's going on with that. But I have some suspicions, and I'm gonna lay some things out for you and do a quick Dr. Boyce breakdown on this because y'all know how I operate. I like to break things down and not necessarily judge it. I'm trying not to judge Kanye, and I'm not going to. I mean, he's a grown man; he can do what he wants. Lord knows he's got lots of money. When I talked to Kanye on the phone, first thing he told me in the first 2 minutes was that he was worth $4 billion. He said, well, they really say that I'm worth $1 billion, but I'm actually worth $4 billion. And my thought was, I really don't give a shit because I don't measure the quality of who you are as a man by how much money you have. I'm an expert on money. My PhD is in money. And so understanding money at a high level means I understand one thing about Black people when it comes to money. Y'all worship these damn celebrities. Y'all got to stop worshiping these celebrities. Stop thinking somebody's a genius just because white people put them on TV. Seriously, I'm not talking about Kanye in particular. This is not anti-Kanye. We're going to get to Kanye in a minute, but we got to start with us. We got to start with y'all because Kanye ain't here. He might be here, he might not. I don't know who watches the podcast. I know a ton of people who know Kanye. So for all I know, it might get back to him. And I don't care if it does or not, because Kanye, in my view, is not as important as you. Why do I say that? Well, I say that because you're in the community. You're raising the children. You're marrying Black women. You're protecting Black people. You are doing the work in the community. Kanye's off at the Paris fashion show with a bunch of weirdos who wear mud when they're walking down the runway. I mean, I'm no disrespect. I'm not making fun of him. I promise you I'm not, but maybe it sounds like I am. So maybe I am. Maybe I'm being a hypocrite right now. But really, I mean, what makes Kanye special to you? What makes him better than you? What makes him better than you? Oh, he can make dope beats in the studio. Good, great, beautiful. But did you know that there are countries out here where they don't look up to musicians like that? They don't. There are some African countries you could go to where if you tell your parents, I'm the greatest, I made the dopest beats in the studio today, dog. Your daddy will look at you and be like, why don't you get you like a real career? This is stupid. And then if you say, but they paid me $10 million, daddy. The dad's going to be like, son, you haven't disgraced the family. You out here acting like a damn fool. Ain't no amount of money worth you selling your dignity like that just so you can get attention. Can we agree on that? Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. Give me a yes if we can, because we're going to get to Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, and all this. We're going to talk about all of that. But first thing, we got to get to the point where, let me ask y'all this. Does integrity matter? Does class, maintaining class matter? Does carrying ourselves as kings and queens, even if you ain't got a nickel in your pocket, that don't mean you can't carry yourself with some damn dignity. Why in the hell why do we put people on pedestals because they sold themselves out for a $50 million minstrel show? You got $100 million slaves, billion-dollar buffoons making all kinds of money because they are in an arms race. They're like the nuclear arms race between the Soviet Union and they're in a nuclear arms race to see who can be the biggest buffoon for the white man and get the most money. And I'm talking about the Lizzos and the Cardis. I'm talking about the rappers who can't spell their mama's name, about to get locked up on RICO charges, getting shot up every week. And you doing all this, the 80 pounds of gold chains, 14 babies, mamas, acting as much of a damn monkey as you can be. Because I got paid, yo. I got money, dog. I got money, man. Man, cover your ears if you got children. I need you to cover their children's ears because I'm about to say this. Fuck you and fuck your money. Seriously, I hope I didn't disappoint y'all because sometimes it got to come out. I got to let it out. My daddy cussed a lot. I blame it on him. Fuck you and your money, man. Because look, I had a great conversation today with a guy named Curtis, and I just met Curtis, and he reached out to me. He happens to be married to this amazing woman by the name of Layla Ali. I was excited to talk to Curtis because Curtis was a great athlete. He played in the NFL. His wife is the daughter, is an extraordinary woman in her own right, and she happens to be the daughter of the man who was actually my greatest hero right next to Malcolm X. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, the same streets as Ali, and that man inspires me every time I see him. I look at him about twice a week, and I get inspired from that. And let me tell you something. There was a time and there is a place where there are Black people who maintain their integrity, and it ain't got nothing to do with how many M's you got in your bank account. Can we at least get this? Look, I talk about money all day. I can explain every single thing that you need to know about money, how to get it, how to manage it, all that stuff. I know these things. This is what I taught at Syracuse University. But we got to put the money to the side. Because here's the deal. Look, if you make money into your God and you measure the quality of other Black people's contribution by how much money they make, then you can't help but to become a white supremacist. Why do I say that? Well, because who has all the money in America? Who has the majority of the money in this country? White people or Black people? Black woman, if you measuring every man by how much money he's got in his bank account, well, you might as well go do a Meghan Markle. Go marry you a Prince Harry, a slave trader from across the sea, because that's where the money's at. Yeah, because you can't identify a Black man with integrity because somebody taught you to be an ignorant, one-dimensional human being. It does not mean money is not a variable. Money is a variable, but money cannot be the only variable. Do you get what I'm saying? Give me a yes if you get what I'm saying. This is for intelligent Black people only. All the buffoons can walk out the door. All the celebrity worshipers can walk out the door. Anybody who thinks that a rapper can do no wrong because you liked his last album can just walk out the door. This is not a conversation for you. You're not going to understand this. This will only frustrate you. So I encourage you, please leave. So let's get back to Kanye. Hit the thumbs up button. If you could, please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. And what's up on Instagram? My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. So feel free to follow me on Instagram. Look for that blue check mark. Be careful. There's a lot of fake Boyce Watkins pages out there, and they will scam you. So don't let them scam you. It's not me reaching out, telling you to inbox me and all that stuff. I don't do that. So please be careful. So Kanye appears at some stupid fashion show in Paris. I don't know anything about this world at all. I think this is let me turn this off. Sorry about that. Hold on. I'm echoing. I don't know why I'm echoing. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. So Kanye appears at this fashion show, and he's out in White Peopleville or wherever they hold these fashion shows, Paris or something. And he shows up wearing this White Lives Matter shirt. And Candace Owens, who happens to be a major Republican Party operative. Candace Owens is not somebody I can vibe with because Candace Owens, unfortunately, she and her white husband are very, very good. And I'm not making fun of people who marry white people. Don't get me wrong. I got people in my family that have married white. But Candace Owens engages in what I consider to be a highly inauthentic use of Black suffering, Black pain and suffering to make talking points for the Republican Party. She's not the Black person who says, look, you need to free yourselves from the Democrats, because we know the Democrats have been pimping y'all for about 60, 70 years now. The Democrats are the ultimate pimps. She's not the person who's saying get away from the Democrats so you can be free. She's saying get away from the first pimp so you can find a different pimp. So she is pimped by the Republican Party. That's what she is. Candace Owens is not somebody I can rock with. And so she also shows up wearing this White Lives Matter shirt. Why they're wearing these shirts, I have no idea. I'm not going to sit and speculate. I can't speculate on that. Also, what is confusing or complicated about this is that we know, most of y'all know, the intelligent people in this room understand that there were significant problems with the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement was very difficult for Black people because you're like, wait, I want to get on board with the idea that Black Lives Matter, but I can't get on board. I can't check every box on this movement. This movement, wait, this is a Marxist movement. This is an LGBT movement. You got this trans conversation in it. I didn't sign up for all of that. And that's how they get you politically. They say, hey, do you agree that the sky is blue? You're like, yeah, blue sky. And then they're like, okay, then you must also agree that I can put a banana up your butt and slap you in the face and steal your kids. Well, I didn't know. I just said that the sky was blue. Right? They get you to agree with point A, and then they suck you into points B, C, D, and E so you can stay down. Right? That's basically a sales tactic, micro commitments. That's what they're doing, right? So here's the deal. The Black Lives Matter movement wasn't perfect, but most of us agree with the general idea that Black Lives Matter. Give me a yes in the chat if you agree that Black Lives Matter. We all agree on that, right? So give me a yes in the chat. Also, give me a yes in the chat if you found some issues with the Black Lives Matter movement, like what they were doing with the money, the fact that all that money came from corporations. Almost none of that ended up in the hood. Nobody knows. I don't know. Does anybody know any Black person anywhere who got any money from all those tens of millions of dollars that were donated to Black Lives Matter? Anybody getting that money? I ain't seeing it nowhere. I know people who can use it, right? So we have these issues there with the Black Lives Matter movement. So here's the deal. This is not a left-leaning conversation or a right-leaning. This is more Black-leaning. This is more to say that, look, we know that there are issues on the other side, but at the same time, when you're going to that in that direction of putting White Lives Matter on a shirt, that makes people feel some kind of way. It makes people feel some kind of way. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't believe white lives matter. I mean, how many of you agree that white lives matter too? How many of y'all would at least confess, like you got white neighbors, you got white friends, their lives matter, right? Do we agree on that? Give me a yes in the chat if we agree on that. I hope we agree. I hope we agree. I don't want to hurt nobody. We don't do hate on this platform. I'm not here to hate nobody. I ain't got time for that. I got room in my heart for is love. That's it. I ain't got time for no hate. Hate will kill you. Hate is unhealthy. Hate is not cool. So we ain't got to worry about hating on nobody. If you are the winner, if you're the champion does not have to hate on anybody. Okay. So we know that it's okay to say white lives matter in a theoretical construct, but we know that it comes with baggage, that is a loaded term. That is a loaded term that was used to undermine the Black Lives Matter movement. Two terms, white lives matter, all lives matter. So it's politically loaded in a major way. So why would Kanye West have Black models, by the way, make Black women? This is the funny part. This is where you get into that celebrity worship. He had Black models wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts. So what this speaks to is the idea that we believe that celebrities can do no wrong. We believe that if a person has enough money in their bank account, they can make us walk around like little circus monkeys and do things that are literally ultra embarrassing for our families. Now, I don't know who this model is, but I imagine what's going through her mind is, oh my God, I get to model for Kanye West. I spoke to him today. Oh my God, he's so rich. He's so famous. He's blah, blah, blah. So now you're looking ridiculous. Now I got you on my podcast. I don't want to show her face because I don't want to make fun of her. I'm not trying to shame her, but I got you on my podcast talking crazy about you because you're looking like a fool. You're looking silly. So ultimately, when you talk about this celebrity worship, one of the significant problems we got to confront as a community is the fact that our celebrity worship often holds us back. It often hurts us. Now, in terms of Kanye, The reason I believe that Kanye is wearing these shirts and bringing these shirts out, in my view, is it's probably because Kanye's number one currency that has made him a lot of money, with most of that money coming from non-black people, is attention. For Kanye and Kim, they are two birds of a feather. Donda, I don't think Donda would approve of none of this shit. I think Donda is rolling over in her grave. I know that I speculate this. My intuition tells me this because I married a Donda. My wife is a professor from Chicago, just like Donda was a professor from Chicago. And I read Donda's bio. And I'm sorry, Kanye. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, brother, but I don't think Donda would like any of this shit. I don't think Donda. Give me a yes or no. Do you think Donda would have approved of Kanye bringing home a Kim Kardashian to the house and saying, "Mama, this is my wife. This lady here with the big African lips that she injected in her face and the big fake booty, who got famous off a sex tape with no talent whatsoever. This is going to be my wife. This is where your legacy is going to come from." Do you think Donda would have enjoyed that conversation at all? No, I don't think she would have. Do you think Donda would enjoy knowing that her grandchildren are going to grow up and become little Kardashians, where Kris Jenner starts grooming them at an early age to do anything necessary to get attention, because attention and money are the ultimate prize? That's the ultimate win. Do you think Donda in heaven is looking at all of this and saying, yes, I really love this? No. And so when I look at Kanye and I see my empathy, my heart goes out to him. I see this man on social media. He needs mental health. He needs support for his mental health. He needs medication. He needs attention to his psyche. He needs some psychiatric treatment. I think Kanye has some mental health issues, but he's surrounded by a bunch of yes men apparently who aren't really pushing him to do what he needs to do. Or maybe he's just not listening because he insists on always being the boss and not accepting advice or guidance from anyone. So I don't really know how this is going to end for him. But what I see with Kanye, one common trend that's really interesting to me, is I see him spending time with a lot of the wrong people, particularly the women in his life. I see him next to Kim Kardashian 1 minute, next to some other lady that looks like Kim Kardashian. We'll call her Kim Part 2 or Kim 2.0, so some other white woman. Then I see him with Candace Owens, who, again, all these women are not Donda approved. And I really look at this and I say, what kind of life do you think you're going to have when you're spending time with people like that? What type of contribution can you really make to the Black community when you are spending so much time with peculiar women? Kanye needs his mama. He really needs his mama. What's really happening here is he has validation, consistent validation of his mental illness, because the crazier he gets, the more money he makes. That's how the internet works. The internet works like this: the more attention you get, the more money you make. The more ridiculous you behave, the more attention you'll get. That's why women like Bad Bobby. Anybody remember Catch Me Outside? The little white girl went on Dr. Phil and acted a damn fool because she says, "Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?" Anybody know about Catch Me Outside? I don't know if y'all remember that, but there's a little white girl that went on Dr. Phil and kept saying, "Catch me outside. How about that?" And she was trying to fight the whole audience, and she was like a complete fool. Well, Catch Me Outside had created an OnlyFans account and poses naked, and she made $50 million last year. So this is what your kids are looking up to. This is what they're seeing. I can't change it. This is the world we live in. I don't know what I'm probably fighting a losing battle, because at the end of the day, one thing I know about money, and I know money and capitalism very well, is that money's like a drug, and a lot of people become addicts, and you get to the point where any money feels like it's good money. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Now, Kanye has 4 billion, 3 billion, 2 billion, 5 billion, however many billions of dollars in net worth. I really think we have to consider what price is being paid by the community when you have rappers making a lot of money by embarrassing themselves in this particular way. But again, I'm not judging his right to do what he wants to do. I'm just here to say that somebody has to admit to all of us that making money and being famous does not mean you've contributed to the Black community in any significant way. When Kanye mentioned to me on the phone, and I got to be careful, because I did talk to the guy and I know people that know him. I'm not trying to be mean, but I remember him telling me how much money he was worth. And I just said, who cares? Who cares? That's like, if you have a lot of money and nobody in your community is really benefiting significantly from that money, then you might as well have no money at all, because you're making as much of a contribution as a homeless person. I'm not saying Kanye hasn't done anything. Maybe he has. Maybe he's made some good investments. Maybe he's doing some things, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I would like to see that money used in a way that's going to build infrastructure in the Black community without having our kids behaving like a bunch of weirdos. The world that Kanye's in, here's the interesting thing. So they have this weird world in Paris and all these crazy weird fashion shows, and you see these men, these otherwise logical Black men that would be relatable in another context, like a Jay-Z or a Kanye, and they're at these weird fashion shows with these weird people that we don't, that none of us even relate to, but they're honored to be there because somehow you think that being next to these weirdos is a status symbol. That's what we do. We really think, oh my God, Shay Olay invited me to New York Fashion Week and I get to go to the Vogue fashion show and I get to wear mud on my body and some big stupid dress that goes out 80 feet. Like really. And we think that that stuff, like the Met Gala, has anybody ever seen? I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm about to act like a little fool right now. Has anybody ever seen how stupid the people look when they go to the Met Gala? Is it just me? Am I the only one who looks at the pictures from the Met Gala and I'm like, the only reason that you go to the Met Gala is because it's the Met Gala. That's it. There is no, and let me just tell you this, Kyle Palmer. I can have $1 trillion and be the most famous person on the planet, and you will never see me showing up dressed like a clown at the Met Gala. You won't see me doing that. But they do that. They show up to the Met Gala and they look weird. And a lot of it's because deep down, inherently, that's what we want. That's what we spend our whole lives working for, because that's what you're trained to want from birth. Your whole life, you're trained to want those people to accept you and bring you into their circles. They ain't fighting to get into your circle, but you want to be in theirs. They ain't fighting to get into your universities, but you'll fight to get into theirs. They ain't fighting to get into your businesses, but you fight to get into theirs. So ultimately, what you got to understand is that part of what you see, some of this odd behavior that you see sometimes, is a reflection of a significant lack of self-love amongst Black people. Like, a lot of Black people only consider Black achievement to be worth anything if they can achieve it within a white context. You consider Black achievement to be relevant when that Black achievement is recognized by white people. It's like that double slit. They had this double slit experiment in physics where they said that the only time the molecule or the particle would behave in a certain way is if somebody was actually looking at it. And I'm not going to go into the details of that, but basically it's like somebody says, if a tree falls and nobody's around, does it make a sound? Well, it depends on if somebody's listening, right? It only makes a sound if somebody's listening, because they got to be there to receive the sound. So for you, I can ask you, is a Black man successful if white people never acknowledge it? Well, for many Black people, the answer is absolutely no. You need white people to see you because you don't see yourselves. You don't see each other. You need them to recognize and validate you. You need them to say, come with us. You're the most famous rapper in America. We want you to come to the Met Gala and wear stupid clothes with the rest of us, and you'll go do it. You'll go any other context. You'd be like, this is stupid. I'm not doing this. But with them, because you think their shit does not stink, you want to do anything they tell you to do. And for some of these celebrities, it's got them out here looking ridiculous, looking ass backwards, looking crazy, looking weird. I mean, I've just seen Kanye do things where at that point I'm like, brother, I can't relate to you anymore as a Black man, because I got to get off the bus because you've gone to another planet. Maybe we can talk. We talk about Southside Chicago. I get it. If we talk about Black folks in the hood, powernomics, oh, I get it. We can talk about all those things. But when you start going into that weirdo space that you want to be in just because white people invited you, I'm not interested in going there. Because why? Well, because I don't need them to see me for me to know that I am somebody. I know I'm somebody, whether they see me or not. I don't know if you feel the same way, because you're spending all your time trying to be seen, and you're trying to be seen by people who really don't have a lot of respect for your community. Seriously. Do you really think that the white folks at the Paris fashion show give half a damn about any of y'all in this chat? Do they care anything about your community? They could watch the whole hood burn down. Pay attention now. I think Brother Nuri Muhammad and some others, and Wesley Muhammad and others have brought this up. You take some of these rap songs where they calling Black people the N-word and every other lyric, kill that N-word, blah, blah, blah. If you replace the N-word, Jay Morrison brought this point up also. I want to give credit where it's due, but I agree with these points. If you replace the N-word with any other derogatory term for any other ethnic group, that song gets taken off the radio. How deep is that? If I say kill those Asians, or kill those cops, or kill those white people, or kill those Jews, if I say anything like that, which I would never say because that would be hateful, I would never say that about anybody else. If I was to say that, that song does not get on the radio. So how in the hell does it easily get on the radio and get extra airplay if I talk about killing Black people? And the interesting thing is it's right in front of you and you don't notice it because you're so used to it. This is just the way it is. Yeah, of course, everybody wants to kill Black people. Of course we want to die. So ultimately, and I'm not saying Kanye is contributing to that. I'm not saying that at all. I will say, though, that some of this behavior, some of this hero worship, this celebrity worship, you got to let that go, man. Some of these people are not, I meet celebrities. You know, and that maybe this is on my mind because that was what Curtis and I talked about. Layla Ali's husband. That's one of the things we talked about. We talked for about 2 hours. I like that guy. Like, he's a smart guy. And one of the things that we talked about was all the celebrities we meet and how unimpressed we are because many of them are weak and worthless and care nothing about Black people, are not ready to stand up and fight for nothing. You know, so they're trying to get seen at the Paris fashion show. So remember, at the end of the day, you are the real heroes. You are the people. If you're raising a Black child, you're the hero. If you're loving a Black woman and not a Kardashian, you are a hero. If you are in the hood or building a Black business or around your people, educating your folks, you're the hero in this game. And I encourage us all to let go of this hero worship because some of this stuff is just silly. Kanye's wearing these shirts for attention, and most of this attention and most of this money is going to come from people who are not Black. That's why he probably doesn't give a damn what y'all think about him wearing this shirt at all. He does not make his money from Black people. He makes his money from Asian people who will buy anything that's trendy. He makes his money from white folks who buy anything that they think is cool in the Black community. Black folks are not the ones that are filling up his pockets. And that's why he can look right past you, right over you, and ignore you and not even care. I'm not saying Kanye doesn't care about the Black community at all. I think he's a complex guy. There's a piece of him that is committed to things like Powernomics. That's why we talked on the phone. It's because of Powernomics and Dr. Claude Anderson. So he's not all bad, and this is not a diss on Kanye, but it is me saying that maybe there needs to be a line that is drawn in terms of how far people go in order to get attention. This was an attention move. This was designed to trigger people, and it apparently worked because the whole world's talking about it. And people will get off on this until they see the next publicity stunt. That ultimately, at the end of the day, when you talk about the nitty gritty and integrity issues, I really think his mom was rolling over in her grave, which means that he's got some serious soul searching to do because, brother, this just ain't cool, man. This is just, none of this is cool. It's kind of ridiculous. And when I see the Kardashians dragging you through the mud and kicking you in your ass, like I knew that they would, I'm kind of like, well, that's what you asked for. That's who you chose to marry. You are mad that your daughter is going to grow up just like Kim. Well, kids grow up and they act like their mothers. They follow their mothers. So yeah, you're going to raise a bunch of little Kardashians, whether you like it or not. I hate saying it, but that's just honest to God truth. So forgive me if I sound too harsh. I really don't mean to sound that way. But then again, I can't help but to just let it out. It's got to come out the way it's going to come out. And I hope you can forgive me if I said anything wrong. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And don't forget, we got 3 more weeks to the All Black National Convention. And this is our national convention where all the B1 people from around the world get together. We're meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be amazing. Hundreds of you showed up to volunteer. We've already got our volunteers, so we can't take any more volunteers, but we do have some space if you want to be a vendor or if you want to sponsor. We'll market your business. This is 100% Black owned and independent, so all the support we can get, we would really appreciate that. And so hopefully we'll see you in Charlotte. So God bless you guys. Please have a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care now. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.